Quote, Iraqi banks have the qualifications to switch to the electronic system, noting that the transformation of the financial sector to the electronic system with credit cards will pave the way for attracting international investments and increasing confidence in the Iraqi economy. I have to say it is all just about implementing the electronic payment and inclusion of the banks into this new process. The CBI and the Finance Committee are committed now to complete this effort, and I believe they are way beyond our expectations of just where they currently stand in this effort. In short summary, is this not what we all want to happen so they can pull the trigger on this revaluation and reinstatement? Alak on TV now. He says even with the low oil prices we are stable and inflation in our county is low because we have strong reserves and we have non-oil revenues efficient enough now to also contribute. Then he talked again that the oil price drops have nothing to do with a high exchange rate. Frank, he's trying to reassure you that the American dollar is not coming back in any shape or form into your country. Your currency is the future and its new exchange rate has been a success. That's why you're about to explode with your economic reforms. It's been a great week in Iraq and I am so upbeat about this weekend. Sources told us that we would start our exchanges on the weekend, Saturday and or Sunday. I think that's great. What we're seeing and witnessing is something we've never seen before and not at this level. Something's afoot and I think it's a powerful time frame for us to see something different with Iraq. Sada has been talking to us and telling us we were all going to go out and protest because we haven't received all the things that have been promised to us, but this morning Sada came on television and said the Million Man March has been cancelled, no longer useful he says. Frank, why are we not going to do it? Because they're going to give us what they promised us. Emo, he's calling off the march because Sadoni asked him not to do the march. Fed and Powell unleash chaos across markets with a not a crisis at all rate cut of 50 basis points. I like this article from Iraq. They are saying they have a lot of foreign currency and ways to defend their exchange rate. Why is this important? They are telling us Iraq is ready. Al-Sadoni leaves for New York early next week to participate in the UN General Assembly meetings. If the IQD were revalued to 25 cents to 1 Iraq dinar, based on 1 million IQD you would profit $250,000. Your tax liability just on the $250,000 would place you at a 35% tax rate. Your tax would be $83,188, single/no dependents. You would only receive $166,812. Let's say the IQD readjusts to 80 cents to 1. That would be a profit of $800,000 minus the fees to exchange. You would be taxed at 37%. This would be $284,901 owed in taxes. You would only receive $515,000. This does not include your state taxes. This is not a game. No one said it was fair. I do not want to hear about what a new president will do, because if this happens within the next year a new president cannot help you. Congress has to vote on new tax laws. The Iraq Al-Mustaqbal Foundation for Economic Studies and Consultations attributed, on Saturday, the reason for the decline of both Iraq and Saudi Arabia from the ranks of the largest oil exporters to China to the incentives provided by the Russians and Iranians to increase the purchase of their raw materials. The institution stated in a report published today that Russia acquired 22% of China's oil imports in August 2024, at prices less than 6% of the average purchase prices. He added that the Iranians, through Malaysia, acquired 17% of China's oil imports and less than 10% of the average price, which pushed both Iraq and Saudi Arabia to fall from the position of the largest exporters of crude oil to China, which is the largest market. According to the institution's report, during last July, the average price of Russian oil was less than 4% of the average price, while the average price of Iranian oil was less than 7.5%, meaning that both parties increased their incentives to China to continue China's dependence on the oil of the two countries, even if at prices lower than the offered rates. Mazar Mohammed Saleh, Economic Affairs Advisor to Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, described the banking system in Iraq as rentier par excellence on Saturday, noting that this requires a comprehensive reform process. Saleh told Shafaq news agency, the banking system in Iraq is rentier par excellence, regardless of ownership, noting that it lives on oil resources and government liquidity directly and indirectly. He added that the banking system derives its activities from government spending, which means that it is a market that lacks banking independence and the movement of desired savings in society from the forces of financial surplus towards desired investments to generate high financing for growth and sustainable development.